All right, well, good morning. It is the next day. Yes, it is. Day 8 of Key West to Maine. We've already done the Key West to Maine portion. Today, our hope is to get up to Fort Kent, which is mile marker 1, we're told, on US 1. We're looking forward to that. Coach Vic's feeling a little bit better. So it's 5:39. My goal is to be on the road by 6:15. I wanted to let her sleep in a little bit more this morning, so I came out and got everything loaded up. It's a nice day. It is cold. It's 40 degrees, but at least it's not raining. I think she'll be happy. Make sure I locked all this up. That's why you check right there, you know. Yeah, 40 degrees, a little bit chilly. She's not going to be real excited about that, but I think she'll be a lot happier with this than the rain and the 40 degrees. Once she gets moving, I think we'll be fine. She seems to be feeling a little better. Like I said, I can drop her off at Houlton, Maine today if need be, or we can just cancel the trip. We're here. All we gotta do is get home. We've done the Key West to Maine, so we can do that too. Okay, so we are ready to go. Day 8, Key West to Maine. So we made our goal of Maine yesterday, as you know. Today is Fort Kent, mile marker 1. Been feeling a little under the weather. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling better this morning, so I think I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Might have been a lot of emotions too yesterday, but I'm feeling better. One mile at a time.
1 mile at a time. We're
Gonna go for it.
We're going to Fort Kent. Tell you one thing is a little unnerving in the morning. I crank the Spyder up. It's cold. It always like I've got adequate battery power, but man, that cold crank, it's always a little unnerving in the morning. And it's done that since the day I got it. I've got to get that battery jump pack that I keep saying I'm going to get. I got to buy that after this trip. I'm getting it. I'm getting that. That's what I'm ordering now when I get home, because I'm stressed a little about that every morning. Go out there praying it's going to crank because it gets so cold here. And it's really not that cold to me in the general sense of things, but for a Spyder that sits in Florida garage on a battery tender, it's lifetime, except for when we're on the road. Cold temperatures like this, it just doesn't see. Still shouldn't impact it, but you know, there it is. All right, well, you ready to get your fleece on and get ready to go?
Get all bundled
okay,
up.
Well, she wanted to be all pretty with her fancy new shirt, so make sure you say something in the comments below. Say, that sure is a fancy new shirt. No, she's just gonna put on the big bulky stuff, as she says she calls
all
it.
that bulky stuff.
Let's get loaded up. Let's go to Fort Kent. What do you say? Actually, let's go. What's first stop today? Bangor.
Bangor.
And then up there towards Fort Kent, and then Fort Kent. We got 2 stops, Fort Kent, and then on the way back, we go home. Well, after a good night's rest, we're on the road this morning, and the sky is clear and the air has a nice snap to it. It feels cool, but not crazy cold. Certainly the warmest day we've had in the last 3. Coach Vic, I think, is feeling a lot better. She seems to be, and we both slept pretty hard last night. It's funny, I woke up this morning and the alarm went off, and I was like, did I just fall asleep? But I feel great today. I'm ready to ride, that's for sure. It wasn't like the body wouldn't respond this morning. I'm ready to roll. Today is a relatively easy day, it looks like to me. You know, sometimes I say that and then the day ends up being very complex. So let's just hope for a smooth travel day today, and that Vic feels good, and you guys will hang around with us and enjoy the ride as we head north to Fort Kent, Maine, and search for mile marker 1 on US 1. That's our goal today, is to find that. Then to turn around and go to a little town called Houlton, Maine. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I'm sure about 1,000 people for the next 4 years will correct me on that. Because if you say something wrong on the internet, they're going to tell you about it. And also, never write T-O when it should be T-O-O, and never write there when it should be T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. And make sure you use your commas and semicolons, because if not, you're going to be in big trouble. But while you ponder the value of all of that, because it is vitally essential, as we think about those deep thinkers, let's enjoy our ride to northern Maine. That was a car pulling a trailer. Hi, how you doing? Good, good. There you go. No, that's fine. So how many more tolls are there all the way up to Fort Kent? Do you know?
One more up in West Garden.
Okay, and that's it? Okay, all right. Thank you much. Just trying to figure out how much cash I need. Appreciate it. Well, when you travel in Maine on a CanAm Spyder, you can expect to pay what a vehicle, like a car, pulling a trailer is going to charge. That's what they're going to charge you. It's not going to be for a motorcycle. It's going to be for a car pulling a trailer if you're pulling a trailer, and if you're just traveling on a Spyder, it's going to be what you pay for a car. So as we ride and we get into these northern parts of Maine, the things I'm concerned about, honestly, are accessibility to gas. When you look on a map, there's really not a whole lot up here. And once we get off the interstate and start turning north, where the interstate kind of runs more to the northeast, and we try to just continue straight up north, it's a little disconcerting. I told Coach Vic that, you know, when we were in the desert, we had to really be careful about running out of gas because the amount of gas stops were quite limited. Well, likewise, just because the landscape looks more forgiving, it really isn't. It's prettier, if you like that. If you like green, I like green. But just always think about where's that next gas stop. We're going to stop and get gas in Bangor this morning, and then we're going to look at our next stop further up. We'll pick the brains of some locals. I always like to do that. Look, a deer right there. Yep, we've seen quite a few deer. We're looking for moose. That is, they said that this is a moose crossing right in this area. So we're looking for moose, that's for sure. Them some big boys. We saw so many dead deer on the side of the road, fresh kills. It was a little unnerving. I bet we saw a dozen yesterday. And we saw 3 alive. They were out there. But you do have to think about gas stops and planning for those things, because when you get into more areas that are more wilderness type areas, and that's what this is going to become, we're planning as much as we can. We know that we can make an extra gas stop if we need to. Before we get on a desolate road, we'll hit the very last one and then pick up some more gas in Fort Kent for the ride back. It'll add a little gas stop to it here or there, but that's okay. We can do that. Also, if you do me a favor, give this video a big old thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. You know that we would both appreciate it. That guy right there in that little Toyota truck, he'd appreciate it too. We really do like to bring you quality content, and we're putting a lot of work in this, sometimes to the point where I drive Coach Vic crazy with this. I thrive on traveling. I thrive on camera work. I love every bit of it. I don't grow weary of it. I just enjoy the heck out of it. So I hope you are enjoying Maine as much as we are, but I don't think that's possible. If you've never been here, you owe it to you to get on up here. It is beautiful. All right, I'm going to shut up. Let's ride. All right, so we are in Bangor, Maine.
Bangor, Maine.
So next stop is going to be Sherman Station, which is about 80 miles, 85 miles down the road, something like that. Then after that will be Fort Kent, and then Fort Kent to Houlton.
Then we're finished.
Then we can say that we have done it, by golly gee.
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. So good, yay.
You're all layered up.
Layered up, feel better, not wet, it's warmer outside. So
Yes.
it's
It's chilly. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been,
But
you
it's
know,
just the days feels a lot better than yesterday.
mid 40s to mid 50s, right in there is where it's been. you
Yeah,
know.
but it feels better than yesterday.
But there is a little sun out today, which is very helpful.
Yeah. I asked if they had a beanie in there for Coach Bob, and the young man was leading me to the Beanie Baby stuffed animals. No, a hat. No, we don't have those.
But did they have Beanie Babies though?
Oh. Well, not like a Beanie. They're not like a Beanie Baby. He was telling me they're not. They're not the Beanie Baby brand, but that's what he was leading me to, the stuffed animals.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Things are going well though. The ride's been beautiful so far.
Yeah.
As far as the traffic, no real issues.
No.
I think I am going to put my windbreaker on over my jacket, just to cut the breeze.
Yeah.
If I was just doing 60, 70 miles, I wouldn't do it. When you start piling hundreds of miles and you get a little chilled, that little chill can turn into a little cold, and then a little cold can turn into a little trembling, and a little trembling can turn into real frustration. So
right.
when you feel yourself starting to get even just a little chilled, layer up just a little more. Makes the long-term effects a lot less.
I'm layered.
Every little thing you can do. So
Cozy.
all right. Well, I am going to shut this thing down. Next stop, Sherman Station.
Sherman Station.
So we're approaching the area right now where Katahdin is. Now, for any AT people, Katahdin is very significant. It marks the end of the Appalachian Trail. You see all the pictures of the guys that are standing there on the top of Katahdin, look like they're freezing their rear end off in the summertime. I used to be like, how is that possible? But when you start figuring this far north and quite a bit of elevation, yeah, it's possible. In fact, it's not only possible, it's quite probable. I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but I have a family member who's thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail. The day in, day out grind that they do is really quite amazing. For any of you who have put in any miles, you certainly understand that. And you never know what to expect. Coach Vic and I, as we were talking last night, she had mentioned that she had said this is her Appalachian Trail. It is really quite similar in a lot of ways. I mean, no, you're not walking, and yeah, you can get off the road a lot easier, more quickly, and that sort of thing. But still, it is a daily choice. It's a daily choice to get out and go those miles. And that's what hiking the AT is like. There's the Penobscot River. Wow, look at that church over there. Wow, this is the coolest stuff up here. But you have to get up every day and make the choice of how many miles you're going to do, what elements you're going to expose yourself to, how far are you willing to go. All of those are questions that I can't answer for you, but they're all questions that need to be answered. Where do we go from here is the question that I'm asked a lot, and I honestly don't have the answer for that. I think it's going to be pick a location and go to it and look around and explore for a few days. All right, well, about 20 more miles and we will be in Sherman Township, or Sherman Station is the name of it, I was told by a local. We're going to gas up, get us a little bit of coffee in our neck, and then we're going to roll on down the road to Fort Kent. Should be about 100 miles past Sherman. All right, well, we are at the scenic view for Mount Katahdin. Let's see what we can see. Oh, there it is. There's Katahdin. Check it out. Yeah. Yes. Wow. That puts things into perspective, doesn't it? Let me get a different camera and I'm going to show you some of this.
Katahdin means to be forever wild. That's what that says.
We'll just call you Katahdin.
Yeah, I'm
Coach
Katahdin.
Vic is Katahdin. She's forever wild.
No, I'm not.
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely this was worth the stop for sure. When we pulled up, it's funny because here's what you don't realize. I'm going to show you something that is very, very interesting here. That road right there is the interstate. Now you would not see what's on the other side of those trees. That is the other side of those trees. We're not looking at what we think we're looking at. There's a whole world out here, and it is beautiful, and it's waiting for you to go out and explore it. And if all we do is look through a windshield on that road, we'll never see that.
All right, well, Coach Vic is a beast. She has decided that she is willing to push on through. It looks like there are a few places along our route. Man, I love this Garmin. I'm telling you guys, I love this thing. I absolutely love it. I don't want to deal with anything that I don't have to. And when I look at this thing, it tells me every gas station, every place right along my route. And the way it has, you can have for upcoming towns. You can also just have upcoming things. But looks like there's gas available in this is Sherman right here that we're in. But it looks like it's available in Patton Township and Ashland. But this is Maine Highway 11. It's supposed to be a pretty highway. We'll see. I bet it is. I mean, so far, everything that we were told is going to be pretty is beautiful. Look at that, man. We can stay right there, Coach Vic, the Sherman Inn. I'll share the road, Amish country. Did you see it? Who knows? Coach Vic's been wanting to find a nice little Amish boy. I don't think I can say that I'll have to edit that out. Nah, Coach Vic, she is intrigued by the Amish and how they live. We've talked about that on this trip. It is very interesting. This road is just absolutely stellar already. What a beautiful, beautiful state. Well, we're going to keep on rolling here. Where we stop, time will only tell. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That looks like it would be in Maine. Speed limit 25. I don't want to get in trouble. Better slow my butt down. Shows that gas is available in 3.2 miles and then again at 51 miles and then nothing. Looks like a roller coaster in front of us, y'all. Look at this. Welcome to northern Maine. Get off of the main road and get on the main road. Nice. And to think that yesterday Coach Vic was feeling bad and wasn't sure if she could do this, and last night when we were laying in bed, she said, 1 mile at a time. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And here we are, 1 mile at a time. And this has been the greatest day of the trip for both of us. You just never know what lies around the corner. What sort of magic and beauty is out there. It just blows me away. If it sounds a little breezy, that's because I got my face shield up. The air is just so clean and so snappy. Now the travel on this road, we had read 100 miles is 2 hours. And this is why the speed limit's 50 miles an hour and it's rough. So you're not going to be able to blast down this road, but it's worth it. Every time you top a hill, you just can't wait to see what's on the other side of it. I've never seen anything more picturesque than this. Wow. I'm gonna tell you, this road, it is steep, let me tell y'all. All these little creeks, they're so pretty. I'll tell you, we rode up mountains in California and none of it was as steep as this. The grades, they're not long, they're not real high, but when you're going up, you are going up. You'll be downshifting here. Not for long, but you got to do it. Either that or you're just grinding it out. This is real wilderness. Wow. If I sound shocked, it's because I'm shocked. I just didn't expect the vastness. Even though I'd seen it on maps and all that, you just have to be in it to experience it and really feel what it's all about. I hope the film conveys a small piece of what this is. Roads, man, they are winding and twisting and dropping and dipping. It is like almost like a racetrack. Roads smoothed out a little bit. It's just beautiful. What's crazy, you'll come around a turn and then there will be a hump and you go right over that hump. You can't see the road, you just see the little turn arrow. We've had a couple of those. Those are awesome. You're just anticipating coming over the top of that hill and making that sweeping turn to the right or to the left. Just awesome. All right, well, we are getting ready to roll. Coach Vic's not happy with her appearance, but that's okay. Look up at me there, woman. You're good. Just finished talking to a guy named Earl up here, and super nice guy. He's got a buddy of his, his name was Matt. And anyway, they both have CanAm Spyders and are looking at the trailer possibility and all that stuff. They're dealing with a wheelchair situation, kind of like what we do. Anyway, shout out to you guys, man. Very nice talking to you, buddy. Very nice meeting you. Coach Vic, you ready to roll?
Yes.
All right. We're almost to Fort Kent, 49 more miles, and we'll be there. So let's get this thing rolling. It's funny, everywhere we go, we meet people. People are always so nice. And Earl, one of the things he had said, he gave us the ability to contact him if we had any problems, and that he would be there to help us out. Really appreciate that man, really more than you will ever know. It's always nice to know that somebody has your back when you're out on the road and you're in a strange place. And we are way out of our element, so to speak. We are way away from home, aren't we? You're going to meet some great people out there. You just are. And then the fact that he, has a friend that's paralyzed that rides and has that in common with Coach Vic and I. It's like, what are the chances of that? It's nuts. It's just so awesome. So awesome. This is Ashland, man. I can tell you, this is a beautiful place. If you want to live in Maine, if you want to live in the real Maine, I would say Ashland, Maine's the place to be. Everybody I saw knew everybody else. All right, 49 miles to Fort Kent. We got a full tank of gas. It's daylight and we're wearing sunglasses. Let's do this. Hit it. As we get deeper into the wilderness of northern Maine, and we are rapidly approaching Fort Kent here at about 25 miles. There's what a rest area looks like. Those are nice. Remember, when you go into these places, check out your gas situation, that sort of thing. Just be careful, pay attention to what's around you. Make sure you know what your distance is, talk to locals, figure out just strategically plan these things so that you can enjoy all of this with no stress, which is what we're doing. And you can see the road in front of us, just absolutely beautiful. Enjoy this ride. Big beautiful lake right on the other side of those trees. I think we'll get, there we go. Now we'll get a view of it. Come out wherever you are. There it is. Wow, that's just beautiful. We are in Fort Kent. It shows 4 miles to Main Street. Looking for mile marker 1 on US 1. Yeah. US 1 starts right here. Ha 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 ha.
We get lost, we just take it in here.
All right, so you drive thousands of miles, and this is what we get. Yes. You ready? We did it. Mile marker 0 to mile marker 1. That's the longest mile ever. It's awesome.
We did it!
You made it.
We made it. I'm so glad I felt better to come out here.
Was today worth it?
It was worth it.
Today was worth the whole
Yes,
trip. Beautiful, beautiful
Yes,
ride.
very nice. We did it.
All right, so just off the back side of the Fort Kent Monument here for the first mile is the border going into Canada. So let's check this out. So there's the Canadian border right there. It's crazy. Nice, huh? Y'all, I want to tell you, this trip Coach Vic and I have made some of the greatest memories of our life. This trip has been hard, it has been fun, it has been painful, it has been joyful, and everything in between. When I am old and fading, I will definitely remember this trip. Amazing, amazing. And more is yet to come because we got a long ride back home.
I know.
And it's gonna be so great. You know, it takes a few days to find your rhythm, and I think we found ours.
Very nice.
By the
Made
way,
it.
it's a great way to spend a birthday.
Oh yeah,
Happy
happy birthday. Woo.
Well, this is beautiful Fort Kent, Maine. Let's go up to the historic Fort Kent. What a beautiful place, man. This is so cool.
Now you know why it's called Fort Kent if you didn't know before.
Fire on that steeple, that is unbelievably ornate. Look at that, that is wonderful. So our next stop should be Houlton, Maine, about 100 miles down the road. It was funny, we're talking to some people, they're like, well, so y'all staying here tonight? We're like, no, we're heading down to Houlton, and they're like, oh, that's a long way. There's the Moose Shack. So that was Fort Kent. Wow, I'm knocked out. Very, very beautiful. All right, well, we're gonna roll to Houlton. 161, this is a road that goes a little more to the east. It is, I'm gonna tell you, this road here, I'm really working my rear end off to hold my line. It's windy and the road has an incredible crown on it. But it is a beautiful stretch of road. Look at that, man. Fortunately, though, there's not any traffic here, though, I'll tell you that. I don't know if you can see, but I'm actually having to turn left to just stay in the lane. One lane ahead. They're leveling the road off probably because it is definitely sunk. You can see, I mean, it is like there's a heck of a pitch. It's not even a crown, it's a pitch. We won't make you sit through this. We'll sit through it, but we won't make you. The land's spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give it that countryside. All right, there's a big lake up here. We got the cameras running. There was a guy, Rick, I think his name was Rick. Hi Rick, how you doing? He worked for the city of Fort Kent, and he spoke with me for a while. He rides a Goldwing, and was asking me, you know, about the Spyder, and You know, and how he's a two-wheel guy and he thinks it'll be difficult to make the transition to 3, but that if his wife would go with him, I was listening, that he might be willing to consider it. Hopefully Rick and your wife are watching this video and you're willing to consider it. Yeah. If we can do it, anybody can. That's all I know. But anyway, he was telling me up in this area, as we approach this lake, to look in the shadows. There are normally 2 moose that hang out near these lakes up here. And you got to look real close for them. He goes, because they're easy to miss. They'll stand sometimes right in the edge of the tree line, and they are jet black, and you'll just ride right by them. So we're looking. We've heard there are a lot out moving. We have not seen any. Don't want to see one too close, if you know what I mean. They say a break for moose. It could save your life, but I would like to see one at least. This is some beautiful country. Man, I mean, this is just, it's wilderness. We could have stayed there. That's cool. The Northeastern Hotel. I go up to guess we're not. It's closed up. That looked cool though. So the motel, yes, it is actually a motel that we're staying in, is a little different than what we normally stay in. We kind of stick to the Houlton thing, but very small town called Houlton, Maine. It's at the end of 95, and US 1 picks up the rest of the way, carries you on up to the north side of the northern part of the state. So obviously it's not a high traffic area. Anyway. So it's kind of a mom and pop thing. We'll just say it's Hojo 1971. In fact, most of the furniture is from Hojo 1971. We've got a nice little bar right here. I say bar and grill, O'Kelly's Pub. Hey, Coach Vic, you're already eating.
Look at the nachos, these are good. I mean the chips.
Ah, very good. Ain't no such thing as a bad chip when you've been riding right there.
I know.
Let's go.
Alright, here we go. Down a long hallway.
So as I was saying before, we went into the pub, bar and grill, whatever you want to call it. It's like 1971 Howard Johnson's Hojo. Now, I'm not putting it down, so to speak. I don't want you to think that I'm being snobby, because it's not necessarily the case. It's actually quite quaint, and it's kind of got some riches in the mattress, which, you know, from people sleeping in them so many times. But you know what? It's kind of cool though. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it every time, but every now and then.
It's the experience.
It's about the experience, yeah. It's pretty cool. So what do you think, Coach Vic?
It's about the experience. Just ate too much food.
Coach Vic ate too much food. I looked at her. She had this big BLT, and she goes, I'm going to have to put half of this in a box. And I went and moved the Spyder, and I came back, and it was gone.
It was in the box.
I'm like, what happened? Where did it go? And she goes, I ate it. I'm like, you ate that big old sandwich? I don't know how she did it. Little woman ate that big old sandwich. So hello friends, Coach Bob and Coach Vic with you here for the closeout today. Day number 8. We went from Portland, Maine today to Fort Kent, back down to Houlton, Maine, for a total of 423.2 miles. Doesn't seem like a very long day mileage-wise, and sometimes can be very deceiving. If you're on a road where you can only do 55 to 50 miles an hour for 200 miles, and we literally, there was a road, the speed limit was 50 for hours, and you know, and it was rough as a cob, so you can only go so fast. So there are days that your mileage may be low. Don't be disappointed in that. Don't let everything be a number. We also did some stops. We got to stop at Katahdin today.
Oh yeah, we saw it in the horizon, and my dad hiked that. I'm like, wow, puts everything in perspective. Once I saw it, put it in perspective.
Actually,
and hiking the trail.
Do you remember what your exact, when we pulled up and you looked off in the distance and saw Katahdin, do you remember do you know exactly what you said? What did you say?
Holy
She just said, holy my dad went up that?
It's all in perspective when you walk it, when you hike the trail.
Man, when you hike up Katahdin, that's a hike.
Yeah,
that's a hike.
It's really cool.
That was the first big thing today. Then we rode, what was it? It was Maine Highway 11?
Yeah,
Maine
11. That was beautiful.
Beautiful stretch of road, Amish country.
Yeah, that was cool.
You've seen the pictures of it. You know how beautiful it is. Again, today, one of the most beautiful rides of my life.
Yes.
I'm tired tonight. I think it's because my brain was so engaged in what I was doing. I was hyper focused and hyper concentrated on everything around me. I think I'm probably kind of freaking Coach Vic out. I'm not even listening to music on this trip.
Right.
I'm looking around. It is so beautiful. I've never seen anything like this part of the country in my life. I mean, I'm 59 years old. It's one of those things where you're looking around and you're going, man, this whole world, everything we look at, it just exists out here. It's been existing all this time. We didn't even know it was here.
Right.
It really is mind-blowing. Fort Kent was absolutely beautiful little town. The people were really, really nice. Met a guy, I think his name was Rick, worked for the city of Fort Kent, and we talked for a half hour. He rides a Goldwing, and we were talking, the two-wheel, three-wheel discussion.
And the Earl guy earlier.
And then Earl, when I met that guy in Ashland, Maine, amazing guy, just super brilliant guy. People just show up and we start talking, and it's like you've known them your whole life. It really is the coolest thing, because here I am. Look, Coach Vic calls me the hick, okay, every now and then. I call everything's a motel to me, right? Tonight actually is a motel, though. But everything is a motel to me. It's a hotel, it's an inn, it could be a 5-star resort, and I'm going back to the motel. And she's like, Bob, it's not a Holiday Inn in 1968. You're a hick. Say hotel, say inn, say lodging establishment, but don't say motel. So here's what we did today. Portland, Maine to Bangor, Bangor to Ashland, Ashland to Fort Kent, Fort Kent to here, for a total of 423.2 miles, bringing our trip total up to 3,284.2 miles. We're going to be a little longer in mileage, I think, than I anticipated when we get home. I think we're going to be 4,500, 4,600, so only 500 shy of the California trip. We will have more days on the road, I believe. We're looking at a baker's dozen. We're looking at 13 days of travel, whereas I think, how many days was our other trip? Was it 11?
11 on the road, yes.
We spent 11 on the road, and we did over 5,000 miles. So we were doing some big miles.
We just did big miles.
But I'm going to tell you, we didn't spend any more time in the saddle, because it was that we were on the interstate all of the time.
Right.
And so we were constantly able to do 70 miles an hour. When you get off that main road, expect to spend 8 to 10 hours in the saddle and only do 400 to 500 miles. I mean, we were in the saddle for 8 hours today. So 8 hours at 423, it's 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's pretty slow. Whereas yesterday we did 465 miles in roughly the same amount of time. Go figure. And yesterday had some slow roads on it that were beautiful. But just expect that. Don't let everything be your mileage. Don't let that predicate what you're going to do. Now, let's talk about tomorrow, because there have been some changes for us. Our initial plan was to go to Lake George, New York. Coach Vic and I are going to look at some mileage tonight. But it's either going to be Lake George, New York, or Williston, Vermont. It's going to be one of the two. That's where we are. Lake George, New York, or Williston, Vermont. Looks like it's about 40, 50 mile difference. Williston would make the trip 400, or like 400 even. And of that 400, 130 of it are on the interstate.
Okay.
So a third of it's on the interstate. That'll be a quick trip. It'll be a quick trip. You figure you only, if you're doing 400 miles, you subtract 130 from that, you have 270 miles left. So we'll have 270 miles on back roads, but it's a very doable day. Gonna excite Coach Vic. If we do Williston, we don't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Good.
I don't do that very often. Coach Vic knows that. I'm an
a little later
early person. But that means that the next day to Erie, Pennsylvania, we're gonna have to really get an early start. Okay. So we'll look at all that though tonight. It could change. It could be Lake George, New York. But Coach, I'm going to say that Coach Vic is making this decision based on her body and how she felt. Today was a great recovery day for her. She was tired there at the end, but today was a great day.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I couldn't ask for a better traveling day.
Glad we made it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, don't know if I want to do that yesterday, but I'm glad we made it.
And I volunteered to drop her off at Bangor, and I volunteered to drop her off here if she'd have wanted to do that.
No, I'm glad we went.
And she's
glad
like,
I went.
I want to go to Fort Kent.
Yeah.
Now, mile marker 1, mile 1 on US 1 versus mile 0 at
Key West.
We've seen mile marker 0 a lot of times, but I want to tell you, from 0 to 1, the longest mile. It's the longest mile. It's also the most adventurous and beautiful mile.
It was.
So understand, sometimes you're 1 mile at a time, maybe 1 mile, maybe 3,284.2. That's how long that mile was. I was asked today, why do you do this? Leave a comment below. I'm going to tell you why I do it. I do it because I really do want to live an adventure. And I really have the fear. I have buried 2 people that I love, both who wanted to have an adventure in their life, both who wished that they could have seen things that they were not able to see. One due to just decisions, and the other due to age, not having the opportunity or the time to travel. I don't want to be in that place where I go, man, I wish I would have done this when I had the opportunity. I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Yes.
And I'm going to do it as long as I'm physically capable of doing it. I'm going to travel and see this beautiful country that we live in. And it really is beautiful. And for those out there who go, nah, you know what? We can agree to strongly disagree, because this is a beautiful country with wonderful people from all walks of life who have shown us nothing but love and kindness and sweetness. It doesn't matter whether it is the person on the side of the road, or the guy in the 3-piece suit, or the guy pulling up in the rusty truck, or the guy pulling up in the $100,000 truck pulling the $300,000 boat. And we've seen all and everything in between in the last 2 trips. That's why I do it. Is it worth the pain? Is it worth the time in the saddle? Yes.
Yes.
Coach Vic?
Yes.
Would you like to add anything to that?
I agree. Same thing. It's having the, just going out and doing an adventure. The older you get, just want to live life. I never thought I would be doing this. 2 years ago, someone said, "Would you be traveling across country on a motorcycle?" No, never. And here I am. It's worth it. There's hard days, but it's worth it. So.
It's hard. 2 days ago, let me tell you.
It was hard, but anyway.
Iron.
I'm doing it. And gotta keep going, keep strong. But it's a good story to tell. Good stories and great memories. I would say good, but great memories.
These are stories we'll tell our grandchildren.
My son called me today, and he's like, "I heard you're in Maine. What are you doing in Maine?" We've talked about this for a year. I said, "We've talked about this for a year, that we're going to go to Maine next summer, this summer." He goes, "Well, I thought y'all were just talking about it. I didn't think you would do it. And here you are in Maine." We didn't even call him and tell him we left. But yeah, he thought that was kind of crazy that here we are.
I told him today on the phone, you need to buy you a Spyder when you get out of the Navy. We got to do some traveling, man. You and your bride and me and Vic, we got to do just little trips here and there. I just want to spend it. This is too wonderful not to share with the people you love. If that means I got to buy another Spyder so he has one to ride, color me another Spyder. Because that's how I roll.
That's how you roll.
Any epiphanies?
No.
I left you speechless.
I can't even.
I left her speechless there.
My brain, I can't even think right now.
I do want to say this. This is, and I've mentioned this a couple of times today, and you'll hear it again. These travels are Coach Vic's AT. Traveling is tough. It's tough when it's hot, when it's cold, when it's wet. Today was one of those days where you go, this is why you ride. Yesterday was one of those where you go, this is why you don't ride.
I had enough of this.
She was frustrated yesterday and the day before. Tough days.
Anyway, it's all good. It's good.
But it's wonderful. And look, that's why 1 mile at a time will get you there. Because the next day, it's going to be something special.
Right.
All right. Well, with that said, it's getting late. It's about 11:30.
Yes.
And I've got a lot of work left to do. But man, the food was good tonight. It was good. Very old-fashioned. It was nice.
The hotel pub.
Yeah, our waitress's name, do you know her name? Bonnie. That's right. Her name was Bonnie.
She was probably
70s.
late 70s, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was a sweetheart, man.
She hustled that restaurant.
She was the only waitress in the restaurant.
Yeah, she did a good job.
She was waiting on like 5 tables. And she was going, man. It was great.
Yeah.
Service was quick. Food was great. If you're in Houlton, Maine, I'm not going to tell you it's a 5-star resort. It's Ivy's Motel. Yeah.
Ivy's
it's a motel. That's right. I ain't a hick tonight. Well, maybe I am because I said I ain't one. It's a motel.
It's a motel.
So go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right,
take care of yourself.
and remember, if you're not having fun,
you're doing it wrong.
now you go seize the day. We'll see you on the road real soon. Good night, y'all.
Good night.